Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Money Down NFL show presented by BetPrep right here on the Draft Network YouTube channel. Today, it will be me and Brentley Weissman. Jaime Eisner will be rejoining us for a future show. But look, this is the show you need to be watching if you want to know all there is to know before placing your NFL Week 11 bets on spreads, over-under game totals, or player prop bets. This is the show for you. After all, we are trying to help win you some money and put a little bit of extra money into your pockets. And it's hard to believe, Brentley, that we are in Week 11 of the NFL season. Already, the season seems to be moving so quickly, but here we are, second half of the NFL season where each game truly does matter. This week, we've been busy as we've already seen the New England Patriots shut out the Atlanta Falcons in Thursday Night Football. Joe Flacco was announced as the starting quarterback for the New York Jets, and Antonio Brown's former live-in chef, Brentley, accused AB of having a fake COVID-19 vaccination card. Brentley, all that to say, are you ready for a full slate of Sunday Week 11 NFL action?
I'm very ready. I mean, again, another week in the NFL, just drama every day, it seems like. But as you mentioned, the NFL seasons are already in week 11. Every game matters. The playoff race is really heating up, especially in the AFC, where I feel like everyone's 500 and better. So every game matters. And so we're going to see a lot of good games today, and excited to hopefully pick some winners, after last night's Oregon loss. I need some money. I need some money to cheer me up. So, we got to have a good day today.
I get it, Brentley. Look, Maryland also losing, but what's new? And also Michigan State fans joining us in the sorrow and pity party. That one was rough. Rough to watch, but we're not alone. But like you said, so many storylines, and maybe the biggest one that just dropped, Lamar Jackson, one of the playmakers that everybody loves to watch. Action Jackson will not be playing in today's matchup. But let's kick it off, Brentley, with our first game. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers host the Steelers as 5.5-point home favorites. The total is 47.5, down a half point from the opener. Though Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said he will always leave the light on for TJ Watt. Watt was ruled out for today's game, even though the MRIs on TJ Watt's knee and hip came back negative. So a little bit of positive news. But some other notable members of the black and yellow missing are cornerback Joe Hayden out because of a foot injury, and they'll be without all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is on the NFL's COVID-19 list. The Steelers currently sitting at second in the AFC North, Brentley, coming off a 16-16 tie with the Detroit Lions. We don't even want to remember that game. That ending was kind of hard to watch. But Pittsburgh had won 4 in a row prior to that. Brentley, give me your thoughts on this matchup.
This is going to be a good game. I think these are two pretty evenly matched teams, both teams dealing with some injuries on defense in particular. But if I'm making a bet on this game, I'm going to go with the under here, Kelsey, and hear me out. So for as explosive as the Chargers theoretically are on offense with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, they've actually hit the under on 10 of their last 15 games, dating back to last year. This offense is simply just not moving the ball down the field. For whatever reason, Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator, refuses to let Herbert throw long balls and deep shots to Mike Williams or to Keenan Allen or to Jalen Guyton. He's settling for shallow patterns, quick hitters, do little 3 and outs, and that's not utilizing Justin Herbert's skill set correctly, in my opinion. Both of these teams' offensive lines struggle, especially the Steelers, which is one of the worst units in football. I think Joey Bosa, Uchenna Nwosu, Jerry Tillery will have big games today. Get after Big Ben. Don't allow a lot of room for Najee Harris. And so I think this game is going to shape up to be a defensive battle, a low-scoring game with not a lot of big plays. So I'm going with the under here. And then on the Steelers side, real quick, they've only gone over this total one time this season. So, again, this offense is a very middling group with very little playmakers. So, I think this is a defensive battle, a low-scoring game. Yeah. So, I think the under is going to hit.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts on that one, Brentley. And you mentioned Joey Bosa, one that we definitely will all have our eyes on. For my pick in this matchup, look, the Chargers only have a single victory in their last 4 weeks of football. Ben Roethlisberger is expected to be active for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm just not comfortable laying 5.5 with the Chargers. So I will take the Steelers. Give me Steelers at plus 5.5 for my pick in this matchup. Definitely, I think, going to be a great game. And talking about great games, Brentley, I'm excited to go to this next one. Dallas Cowboys versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs host the Cowboys in what, in paper, looks like the best game of Week 11 as the Kansas City Chiefs at 6-4 travel. The Cowboys travel to Kansas City as the 2.5-point underdogs versus the Chiefs. Everyone is expecting a shootout in this one. The total is right now sitting at 56. The Cowboys are in first place by a few games in the NFC East, but the Dallas Cowboys will be out wide receiver Amari Cooper for at least 2 games after he was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list on Friday. On the plus side, though, many are talking about Micah Parsons as the runaway pick for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Did the Chiefs, Brentley, get their groove back? Or will America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, cool off the Chiefs as they continue to take the league by storm?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs got their swagger back a little bit last week, beating a pretty good Raiders team on the road. They beat them pretty good, in my opinion. What we saw is the Mahomes of old. He's making plays down the field to Kelsey. He's making plays down the field to Hill. He didn't have a turnover last week, which, has been really bugging him all season. So if he can continue to play like that today, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I'm taking the Chiefs here, -2.5. When Mahomes is either a favorite an underdog or favored by a field goal or less, he's 10-2, meaning when it's a close spread and it's going to be a close game, Mahomes is where you want to put your money. The Dallas' defense, while they definitely improved from last year, they give up a ton of big plays. I think they've given up 740-plus yards in terms of passing explosives, which is 5th worst in the NFL. What does Mahomes do but great? It's throw the deep ball to Hill. Trayvon Diggs is having an excellent year. This is a very bad matchup for him. He cannot cover speed and quickness like Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is a huge game, bright lights. And look, I'm taking the home team. I'm taking the team with the better quarterback, better coach, and a team in this situation, in this kind of big game, has proven they can win, has proven they can overcome adversity, and this is where you want to put your money. So I'm going with the Chiefs here, covering 2.5 at home.
Trayvon will definitely have his hands full. And like you said, those big plays matter. You can be having a great game and all of a sudden a big play happens and it, of course, changes the trajectory of that ball game and also momentum, right, in a ball game when those big plays happen. For my pick on this game, I'm looking at Dallas. They are 4-0 against the spread on the road this season. The Chiefs right now are 0-5 against the spread at home this season. So I like the Cowboys against the spread. And on the money line, it gives me Cowboys at +2.5 for my pick in this matchup. Again, this one's going to be good. You're talking about 2 of the top teams, 2 of the top quarterbacks going head to head. And again, this one, Brentley, I feel like if the Cowboys win, you are not going to hear enough from your Cowboys friends, right? Like your Cowboys friends are just going to be going crazy if they can beat Kansas City and Patrick.
They're going to be insufferable like they always are.
Like literally, you're going to have to give them space. Like, look, I need space right now, all right? We've had enough of you Cowboys fans, but we will see if America's team can get the job done. Let's move on to our next matchup. We've got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Division rivals, Arizona and Seattle will meet in Seattle this week with the Seahawks as 2.5-point favorites. The current total is 46. Questions surround the Arizona Cardinals as the world awaits to see if we will see Kyler Murray suit up to start this game. Cardinals not expected, though, to make any final decisions until pregame warmups, but reports signal Colt McCoy may be starting his 3rd straight game for Arizona in place of the injured Kyler Murray. All right, McCoy, though, did leave the squad's Week 10 matchup against the Panthers with a pectoral injury and didn't return. On the other side of things, on Friday, it was announced that the Seattle Seahawks running back Chris Carson, who was the Seahawks' leading rusher, folks, in each of the previous 3 seasons, will have season-ending neck surgery with plans to return for the 2022 season. So many things happening around this game. We're looking at injuries, and injuries I feel like continue to be the storyline, Brentley, throughout this NFL season. Tell me what you like in this matchup.
I'm going with a team whose back is truly against the wall, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. They're 3-6, but they're not out of the wild card race yet. And if they have any hopes of making the postseason, they need a win today. A loss, it takes them out. They're done with a loss. 3-7, you're not getting into the playoffs. So I think the Seattle team, when their back is against the wall, with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, they're going to find a way to get it done. Here's a fun fact. Russell Wilson has never lost 3 straight games as a starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. That's on the table today. I don't think that happens. DeAndre Hopkins is out already. Kyler Murray is going to be a true game time decision. And even if he plays with a hurt ankle, for a dual threat quarterback who really makes some of his best plays on the move, using his athleticism to get on the outside and throw deep balls, he's going to be very hampered. I think it's probably in their best interest to not play him, considering they have a bye week next week. So I think this Cardinals team, as injured as it is, and perhaps already having their eye on the bye week, I don't think this is a good spot on the road against Seattle, who, again, is very desperate for a win. So I'm going with Seattle Seahawks here in a gotta-have-it moment. I think they come through.
Yeah, and look, Russell Wilson, if there's any quarterback that you can trust, I feel like he's definitely one of the quarterbacks that you would put some money on. For my pick in this game, Brentley, I bet the under this game earlier this week when the total was 48.5, but with Kyler Murray expected to be out, that number, of course, has now dropped all the way down to 46. I'm still taking the under, though, folks, in this game. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Mark my words. The under has also cashed in 4 of the last 6 games between these teams, so give me under 46 for my pick in this matchup. But again, another game many are looking back. But quarterback play can be a very important decision in that one. And all right, Brentley, let's head out to the Minnesota Vikings versus Green Bay Packers game. That's our next one. The Green Bay Packers are 1-point road favorites in Minnesota versus the Vikings this afternoon. The total is 47.5, down 2 points all the way from the opener of 49.5. Aaron Rodgers, officially the president of the Matt LaFleur fan club, maybe, as he was seen boarding the team flight to Minnesota in a shirt that read, "Our coach is hotter than yours," with Matt's face and an outline of the state of Wisconsin. Very fun t-shirt, I might say. In this game, you could say there is a mutual hatred between Vikings and Green Bay fans, but also a mutual respect between Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer and Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. First off, Brentley, did you like the t-shirt? We got to know.
I like the t-shirt. I'm not going to lie. I like the t-shirt. You know, Aaron Rodgers is always one for some quirks and some funny moments. So it's nice to see after all the drama where he's kind of letting loose and having fun.
Yeah, I feel like after the Pooh Shiesty dancing and then now we got the t-shirt, like he's just a fun guy to be around, all right? Even if we don't know his vaccination status. But now tell me what you like in this game, Brentley, for your pick.
Yeah, this is a really good game. You know, I was tempted to go with the Vikings here at home, but ultimately I'm going with the Packers. And I think a lot of the narrative is going to be around this Packers offense, but I want to spend a little bit talking about their defense. I mean, this is a really, really good unit. They face Mahomes, they face Russell Wilson, they face Kyler Murray, and have held those 3 quarterbacks to a combined 34 points. Like, that's unreal. This defense is only allowing 107.5 rushing yards per game. And then their passing defense is 3rd best in the NFL. They're fast, physical, at all 3 levels, have really good talent everywhere on defense, it feels like. So this unit, to me, is very, very underrated. On the Vikings side, look, I have a lot of respect for the Vikings. They have really good talent on offense. They have a defense that's playing a lot better than last year. Mike Zimmer is a good coach. I know people want to run him out of town, but all he does is consistently have the Vikings in games. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the Packers are just too talented of a team. On defense, they're really good. On offense, they have Aaron Rodgers, Devonta Adams, A.J. Dillon, who unfortunately I'm playing in fantasy this week, is probably going to go off. Like, he's going to have a big game. He's unstoppable when he gets the ball. And the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are just so good in the division. So it's a pick 'em, essentially. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers and this Matt LaFleur, and apparently he's the hottest coach in the NFL, so I'm going to go with them.
Can never go against hotness, Brentley. Come on. Very, again, just a fun time. I love that the team has fun, especially when your quarterback is starting with it. For my pick in this game, Brentley, like, this is a very difficult game to get a read on. The Packers opened up as a 2.5-point road favorite, but since 2018, the Packers are 4-2 against the spread versus the Vikings, so something to look at. Instead of this number moving to -3, it moved to Packers -1, all right? The Packers are in a tough schedule spot. This will be their 3rd road game in the past 4 weeks. Expect that to take a toll. Aaron Rodgers will start also despite nursing a toe injury. So for my pick in this game, give me Packers -1 and feeling confident about that one, Brentley. All right, Brentley, I like when we look alike. I like when our picks, they look pretty good, Brentley. Yeah. So we need to do this more because we both want to keep climbing up that leaderboard, Brentley. All right,
let's after head to last the next week, game. I don't know.
I know. Look, we're not going to talk about that yet, Brentley. Let us get to the leaderboard part, and then we will see how well fare, because I'm also scared to check that leaderboard, all right? That's why we put it later on in the show. Heading to our next NFL matchup, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 1.5-point home underdogs. First, the Bengals. The total in this game is 50.5. Both teams have identical records, 5-4, and are third place in their respective divisions. What happened in Vegas just doesn't seem to be staying in Vegas for the Raiders. As we all know, they've been facing a series of unfortunate events. Raiders won their first 2 games under their new interim head coach, but also recently lost 2 in a row. And the Bengals, after beating the Ravens in an upset win in Baltimore, claiming the top spot in the AFC North, they have since lost to the Jets and to the Browns in bad fashion, with many raising many questions surrounding that Bengals team. Now, Brentley, tell me what you like in this matchup.
This game was maybe the hardest to pick. Both of these teams are pretty evenly matched, I would say.
Yeah.
Both have good quarterbacks, both have good running backs, both have really good skill positions. Defenses are okay. They're kind of opportunistic. It's tough. I think both of these teams kind of feel the pressure, really to stay in the contention for the AFC wild card. They both need a win. I'm going to go with my heart here. My mom's a diehard Raider fan. She's at the game. She's going to be at the game. The Raiders need a win in the worst way. With the Henry Ruggs tragedy, Damon Arnett releasing, just so much has gone wrong for this organization. They got to have a win. They got to have a get-right moment, and I think it comes today. The difference for me in this game is going to be the Raiders' pass rush against this Bengals offensive line. Bengals offensive line, the tackles, Jonah Williams, and the right tackle, Riley Reif, they're just simply not great. Yannick Ngakoue, Max Crosby, they're statistically the best pass rushing duo in the NFL. I think they wreak havoc today. I think they get after Joe Burrow. This defense is going to bail this team out today. I think they get it done. So give me the Raiders plus 1.5. They get the win outright in a gotta-have-it moment.
Yes, I love that you're going with your heart, Brentley. You should always go with your heart. That's a lesson to everyone out there, all right? Trust in your heart. And I also love that you shouted out a turf in Yannick, but liking that pick. And also, you got to keep mama happy, Brentley, right? Happy mom, happy life. Forget the wife. Happy mom, happy life. That needs to be the new saying of that one. But for my pick in this game, look, you said it, Brentley. Both the Bengals and Raiders, they have playoff aspirations this season. The winner of this game will be taking a huge step in that direction after the big victory over the Ravens, which I mentioned earlier. The Bengals did lose the back-to-back games, first the Jets and the Browns, which were hurtful. The Raiders, though, have also lost back-to-back games. Both the Bengals and Raiders are 4-5 against the spread on the season. This is a tough one to pick a side on, folks. So I know if you're like scratching your head, believe me, many of us were doing the same thing, but I like it to be a higher scoring game and that possibly even goes to overtime. All right. So I'm taking the over in this one. Give me over 50.5 for my pick in this matchup. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. That's for sure. All right, Brentley, I can't believe we ran through that so quickly, but that's a wrap on our top game picks. Coming up next, we've got the prop bet player wheel. You won't want to miss it. So get ready to spin it to win it. Stay tuned because more of the Money Down is next.
And I'm back with Tommy the Hitman from BetPrep for this week's best bets of the week for the NFL. Maybe we do that one. I said bets 6 times.
I'll probably screw up something.
That's all right. I get it. Just get out of the way early, you know? So, all right. 3, 2, 1. And we're back for another week of BetPrep Best Bets. I'm Jaime Eisner along with Tommy the Hitman to go over 3 of the bets that you should make on the NFL this weekend. And 3 really interesting bets that Tommy gave me a little bit of a heads up to before we started recording. Let's start with the first one, a big underdog. The Houston Texans are 10.5-point dogs going to Tennessee to face the Titans. Why do you like the Texans to cover in this game?
Yeah, so this is going to be an ugly card, but you know the old saying, we're betting numbers, not teams. And this is me purely betting a number, and this is a play against the Titans. The Titans are just in a flat spot after having 5 super high leverage games against winning teams in the past 5 weeks. And Houston this year with Tyrod Taylor, actually not that bad. They're actually +8 in point differential in the 10 quarters that he's played this season. The Titans offense without Derrick Henry, struggling mightily. Only 4.5 yards per play against the Saints, 3.5 yards per play against the Rams. Their offensive line the past few weeks has played at a level that's worse than the Miami Dolphins' league worst offensive line. The Titans have had a gain of 20 or more yards this season, only once every 24 plays, which is the worst in the league. I flat out just don't trust this Titans offense and this Titans team to cover margin because I have them rated a lot less than some other people, which is an average team. So give me Houston double digits, plus 10.5, take them.
Moving on to the next game here. The 49ers are coming off an emotional, maybe surprising victory over the Los Angeles Rams, but you're expecting a letdown as they travel to Jacksonville, at least a little bit. Jags are 6.5-point underdogs at home. Why are you riding with the dogs here?
Yeah, so the Jags defense has been better as of late, as Josh Allen and Carson Wentz were both held under 5.5 yards per attempt. And they've also been creating pressure on 41% of their dropbacks. They created pressure on those two quarterbacks. And Jimmy Garoppolo this season under pressure, just completing 49% of his passes for 6.5 yards per attempt. The look ahead on this game was San Francisco -4. And the line's been over adjusted due to their impressive win against the Rams. But also, look for a run heavy game plan from the Niners, who ran the ball on 24 of 26 first downs last week against the Rams. But Jags, underratedly, only allowing 3.7 yards per carry to opposing backs, which is 5th in the league. So I think that the Jags keep this one close. I think we have a little bit of value after the Niners' big win last week, and I like the Jags plus 6.5.
Let's go 3 for 3 on some of these underdogs here. Washington football team travels to Carolina for Cam Newton's first start back in Carolina. We saw a little of him last week. They are 3.5-point underdogs. Would you like them to cover here?
Yeah, so this is just a flat-out overreaction to Cam Newton's 2-touchdown performance and the Panthers' big win last week. Now, listen, I know Cam Newton's an upgrade over Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker, but is he enough of an upgrade to warrant the line adjustment from last week's look-ahead? No, I don't think so. This is still a Panthers offense that is 30th in the NFL in yards per play, and let's not forget that Cam Newton was unsigned for over half the NFL regular season. So there could be a little bit of an adjustment with him learning the new playbook, getting continuity with his teammates. I think Washington plus 3.5 is the way to look in this game.
There you have it, 3 bets, 3 underdogs, and it's been an underdog world the last few weeks, so let's hope that continues here in Week 11.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Money Down NFL show presented by BetPrep on the Draft Network's YouTube channel with Brentley Weissman and myself, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, holding things down today. It's almost that time to spin our props bet wheel, but before we get to that, we have some very exciting news that we want to share. What's better than guys being dudes on the road? The Draft Network and Bud Light Seltzer are bringing the party to the SEC Championship game in Atlanta, Georgia on December 4th. And yes, we want to see you. Yes, all of you guys out there to join us. The Draft Dudes and TDM team will be hanging out, playing games, giving away swag, and who doesn't like free swag, and enjoying Bud Light Seltzers right across the street from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the CSX lot ahead of the 2021 SEC title game, which we're all excited for. Come on out and join us for an afternoon of fun and football with the Draft Network and Bud Light Seltzer in Atlanta. Brentley, I'm pretty excited for that one, right? It's going to be a fun time, so hoping everyone out there can join us for that one. Mark your calendars, folks. Right, Brentley?
Oh, yes, definitely. If you can make it, please join us. It's going to be a blast. I mean, Georgia, Alabama, it literally can't get better than that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it does get better because they get to join us, Brentley. That's what makes that game better, because they get to join us. So lots of fun. Again, we hope to have you all there. All right, now that we've got that announcement out of the way, Brentley, I hope you're ready. Let's get ready to bring up our player prop will. Let's bring it up. And Brentley, let's put you to the test. We're spinning, we're spinning,
Yes.
we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning. And this time, we're landing on Kansas City Chiefs. Brentley, who do you want to talk about today?
Well, I kind of already touched on it when we spoke about this game earlier, but I'm going Tyreek Hill, the over here. I think it's over 87.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to soar by this. I think he's going to get 150 plus today. Again, Trayvon Diggs, who is having a defensive player of the year kind of gear this season, he has a lot of picks, but he's also giving up a ton of yards through the air. He's a good player, but he takes a lot of risks. I think this is a really, really bad matchup for him. While he's a good cover corner, he just isn't a guy who you feel comfortable guarding Tyreek Hill man-to-man. Tyreek Hill is so fast underneath. He can take the top off the defense. In big games, Tyreek Hill always shows up and doesn't really get much bigger than this. America's team, both teams playing really good football right now. I think Tyreek Hill has a huge day. So I'm definitely liking this over.
You know what, Brentley? You have convinced me, and you said everything that needs to be said. I also like the over in this one. I'm going to say this game should have plenty of points scored. So he will see a lot of action because best believe he's going to be a major part of the action and points scored. So I'm also taking the over. So we're beginning in strides today, Brentley. Let's see if we keep that going.
I like it.
Let's head back. Let's head back to the wheel. We're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning. And this time we are landing on the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's see who you want to talk about in this one, Brentley.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the quarterback. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. I think he's going to hit this over for passing yards. Look, he's averaging 314 yards per game through the air, significantly higher than what the over is at 282.5. He's facing the 25th worst passing defense in the league in the Bengals secondary. I think Carr has a huge day. They need him. I mean, look, again, the Raiders' back is against the wall. Derek Carr has just been through so much adversity this past season. He needs a game to where he puts the team on his back, gets a win, has a monster day. I think that happens today. I think Darren Waller, who has been kind of quiet this season, really, I think he has a big game. I think they torched this Bengals secondary. So look for Derek Carr to get it done at home and deliver for the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Darren. Starting off, I think, strong. And then, like you said, then all of a sudden it got quiet. But you know what? I like Derek Carr. I'm also taking the over in this one. I think this is another game in which points should be easy to come by. That's why I'm taking the over. And also, I live for a good Derek Carr post-game press conference. I mean, the man is just he definitely has a career after football. I feel like we could all listen to him all day. Brentley, let's go back to the wheel and see who our next player and team will be. We're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning. And it looks like this time we're landing, the Carolina Panthers. Lots to talk about this one. And this is my neck of the woods. Who do you like in this one, Brentley?
Did you watch Cam Newton and Robbie Anderson's post-game conference last week?
Yes, that was iconic. A moment we'll always remember in sports.
Their bromance to me is awesome. And because of that, I'm going with Robbie Anderson over 30.5 receiving yards. Look, his season average per game is 24.3, but he's played with some terrible quarterbacks this year. Sam Darnold, awful. PJ Walker's okay, but Cam Newton is significantly better than both. The bromance that they already have, to me, is indicative of what's going to happen today. I think Cam Newton's going to feed him the ball. I think Washington's secondary is going to be focusing on DJ Moore, rightfully so, and shout out, he's a Terp, but rightfully so, they'll focus on DJ Moore. But Robbie Anderson, to me, is the one who's going to be the biggest beneficiary to Cam Newton being in the lineup. So 30.5 receiving yards, he can get that in the first quarter. So give me the over here. I think Robert Anderson finally starts getting in a groove this season.
You know, I feel like Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen need to be side-eyeing this bromance because at one point they had the best bromance and now we're looking at them like, nah, that's not real love. This is real love that we're already beginning to see. Cam Newton has been so much fun already back in Carolina and he just got there. But for me, Brentley, I'm actually going to take the under in this one and I'll tell you why. Even with Cam Newton starting today, I still like the under in this prop because I think the offense will run through Christian McCaffrey. So I'm going to take the under in this one. But of course, we will see if things will happen in this game with Robbie Anderson. Like him a lot. But again, I'm just looking at Christian McCaffrey, and we know how much of a difference maker he can be. All right, let's head back to the player prop wheel. And we're spinning. And this time we are landing on, the Cincinnati Bengals. Brentley, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, it's tough for me because I love Joe Burrow. I'm one of the biggest Joe Burrow fans, but I'm going under here for 270 and a half passing yards. Look, Burrow is currently averaging 277 passing yards per game, which is right around this over-under total. But as I mentioned, I think Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, and this Raiders defense is going to get after Joe Burrow today. I don't think he's going to have a lot of time to deliver accurate passes to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. The Raiders secondary, who actually is playing really good football this year, is the 9th best in total passing defense. So they're not giving a ton of yards through the air. I just think Joe Burrow is going to have a tough day today on the road against the Raiders defense, which is playing really good football as of late. So give me the under here. I just don't think Burrow has enough time to get it done today.
Brentley, you talked about you loving Joe Burrow. Let's be honest. We all love Joe Burrow. Like, if you don't like Joe Burrow, you have to look at yourself. Something has to be wrong with you. I feel like he's the guy that everybody likes. I feel like he can do no wrong. But for this one, actually, Brentley, I'm going to take the over in this one. Just like I took the over with Carr, I'm taking the over with Joe Burrow. The guy has an arm on him, and we've been seeing it showcase. And you know what? I feel something. I'm trusting my heart, as you said earlier, Brentley, and that's what my heart is leading me to do. So taking the over in that one with Joe Burrow. Very excited to watch him play some good football today. And really, let's head back to the wheel now to see our last player prop in this segment. We're spinning. And it looks like this time we're heading up. We're heading out to Nashville and the Tennessee Titans. Who do you like in this one, Brentley?
Yeah, keeping the quarterback theme, I guess, for this prop wheel segment. I'm going with Ryan Tannehill over 237 and a half passing yards. Look, he's currently averaging 235 passing yards per game, so right around this total. But to me, it's out of necessity. The Titans have had very little success rushing the football without Derrick Henry. I think they're averaging close to 65 yards per game over the last 2 games, which isn't going to get it done. Even against the Texans defense, which is terrible, they need more offensive, firepower to win the game. So I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have to have a big game through the air. A.J. Brown's going to have a big day. Look for them to get the tight end involved as well. So I think Ryan Tannehill is going to get it done with his arm, and because otherwise I think they could lose this game. Like, honestly, I think this could be an upset if he doesn't hit this over. So give me the over here. I think Ryan Tannehill has to have a big game.
Yeah, definitely lots of pressure on him. But I'm actually going to take the under on this one. I just don't think the Titans will have to put up the big – I just don't see it happening, okay, with quarterback Ryan Tannehill. I like him a lot. Again, I know the pressure is on him. But, again, trusting my heart, Brentley, and I'm taking the under in this matchup just because, again, it's just what it's saying, Brentley. But, again, lots of eyes, though, on the Tennessee Titans. I feel like many are saying they just might be the team to beat, Brentley. Are you in line with that kind of line of thinking that the Titans have kind of been this team that are kind of quietly being that team that's like, hey, you got all things go through Tennessee?
I don't know about that. I think they're playing good football, but once it's playoff time, when it's really crunch time, I would take Buffalo, I would take Baltimore, I would take Kansas City. No offense, Titans fans, you're doing great this year. Keep it up, but I don't know, not yet. You haven't sold me yet.
I like how you ended on a positive note, Brentley. You're that teacher that's like, all right, you did bad on that, but you know what? There's going to be another one, and you're going to do great on the next one.
Hey, I like to keep people happy. I got to keep people happy. Yesterday, Michigan State fans were on my head. I did one tweet about Mel Tucker. I'm getting freaking threats. My gosh, need to positivity here. Positivity.
We do need some, but look, they've been spoiled as of late. And then yesterday, that spanking, it was tough to watch. So they're sensitive right now. So give everybody out there, give your Michigan State friends, just give them some space, all right? They're still recovering. Maybe they'll be good by Wednesday, all right? Right before the holidays, then you check in on your Michigan State friends. That will do it for our Wheel of Props segment, everyone. Don't go anywhere as we'll return with the BetPrep breakdown. Stay tuned.
back for week 11 here with Brad Feinberg, player prop sharp for BetPrep to go over. We're going to get like a 6-pack of player props for week 11. Let's start with a big name, Tyreek Hill. I'm looking down on my sheet here. Over under 86.5 is his yardage total for this coming week. The Chiefs bounced back in big form in prime time against Vegas last week. What side do you like for this one?
Well, first, I just have to say, I needed 2 weeks ago Tyreek Hill, Jamie, to get 11.8 fantasy points to win $1 million. I didn't tell you this, and he didn't. So he's on my ban list for the time being. I actually had a perfect DFS team, and Tyreek Hill was my last player, and I needed him just to have a bad game to win $1 million. But he had an awful game, so no such luck. But this is not because of him costing me $1 million. This is actually, or maybe it is. Who knows? But no. Look, I'm looking at Tyreek Hill. I want to also the BetPrep site, Jamie. He's actually gone under this total. It's obviously a scary play, right? We're going against a great player, but he's gone under this 16 of 23 times recently, 7 of 10 this year. I think this is one of those cases where you're talking about the mean versus the average. The average is around this, but he has a lot of games where he just doesn't get that. He'll have 156 yards because it's Tyreek freaking Hill, and he has those games in him. Just think this is too high. I understand this could be a shootout. I understand all the reasons I can easily lose this bet. I get it. I mean, this could just be one of those games where it's passes galore. Kelsey has 110 yards. He has 120 yards. And I'm freaking drawing dead in the third quarter. I get it, but I'm still going to go with the under.
We're on to another wide receiver. It's not been a phenomenal year for Tyler Boyd, but I looked at this number, 37.5. I'm with you. I feel like this is way too low. Tell the viewers why you like the over here.
Well, it's exactly what you just said. Like, I just thought the number was too low. I made this over under 45.5, and 8 yards. It's significant on a 37.5 point number. Now he's gone over 20 or 30. Now I get it. Like that's really, I probably can't really go back that far because they added Jamar Chase. I understand it's a little different. And this year he's only gone over 4 of 9, but he's getting 45 yards a game. I just think he's a decent player. And I guess I think it's a very fair matchup against Las Vegas. And I just think that again, I just would have made this number, Jamie, more mid 40s. I think it's too low. So I'm going to take the over, and I think there's a little overreaction how somewhat relatively disappointing it's been so far.
Coming back, or excuse me, I should say, heading into the bye week, David Montgomery came back and pretty much got the full workload. We didn't see much of Khalil Herbert for this week back at home, coming off the bye week against Baltimore Ravens. The over/under is set at 55.5 rushing yards. What do you like here from Montgomery?
Jamie, this is making you bet this, by the way. You're freaking betting this one. This is a great bet. This is far away out of the 6-pack we're doing. By far and away my favorite. Doesn't mean it's going to win. Probably wouldn't lose that one the others, but far and away my favorite. Look, this is just a bad number. Do you know what in his last 11 games, how many yards a game do you think this guy's averaging, Jamie? Do you follow the stuff as much as anyone? He's gone over 10 of 11, but what do you think he's averaging?
My guess he's in the 80s. I would say like 83.
This is why you host these shows. You're pretty good. 88. It's just too freaking low. I mean, you don't need me to tell you. This was one, when I saw it, I was like, what? I actually did like a double take. I just was like, this number's just way too low, like way too low. There's nothing more to say. This is my favorite bet of the week.
Yeah, I'll ride with you on this one. I'll be there in person at Soldier Field. Looks like it's going to be
nice.
Mid to upper 40s, maybe a little rainy. So nothing that would deter you from, or deter Matt Nagy for that matter, from running the football. So I like this one
My
as
favorite
well.
bet.
Let's talk about the fourth bet here. Let's go back to a wide receiver, Devonta Smith. It started to really come on these last couple weeks. Over/under set at 4.5 catches. Which way are you leaning?
Look, I like Devonta Smith very, very much, by the way. I think he's a really good player. But this is about – there's very few guys I really – and since Jalen Ramsey doesn't really shadow people, Marshawn Lattimore is a guy – he's a guy I actually fear. I do fear him. He's a guy I think can shut guys down. If you remember last week, Jamie, I think we went 5-1 on the show or something like that. We had another good week last week. And I had A.J. Brown's under. Now, his over-under was 5.5 catches. We ended up going with the yards, and he only had 1 for 16. I just have no interest in going against this guy. None. Zero. Zilch. 4.5 catches. I honestly, again, I'm not saying it's a bad number. I'm just saying against this specific player, I don't think many people, when he's going to be on a certain guy, and I'm sure this is the guy he's going to be glued on, I bet you he finishes with like a 2 for 24 kind of game.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us, and welcome back to the Money Down NFL show, airing live on the Draft Network's YouTube channel, presented by BetPrep. It's now time to welcome in Patrick Everson of Props US in conjunction with BetPrep for our BetPrep breakdown. Welcome, Patrick, to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you this morning, Kelsey? Good to be on. I'm Mandalay Bay Sportsbook in the background here. It's hopping, and we're literally 3.5 hours or whatever from the Raiders game, which, as I've noted before, if you rip down this TV wall behind me and you can hit it like Bryson DeChambeau, you can drive a golf ball to the stadium from here. We're right here.
There you go. It's right there. It gets no better than that. Everyone loves to be close to the action. And Patrick, to kick it off, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys versus Kansas City Chiefs game. This game features two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You can say it's a marquee matchup. So where is the money on the Dallas Cowboys versus Kansas City Chiefs game?
Yeah, no question. It's a marquee matchup, Kelsey. And it's been interesting really all week. I've talked with a host of sportsbooks over the course of the week, gotten information from a host of sportsbooks. 2.5 has kind of been the general number. It's stuck there most of the week. And in many instances, it's a little more tickets on the Cowboys and more money on the Chiefs. So definitely a two-way game here, which is a little surprising to me. I think as you get closer to kickoff, you're probably going to see more Chiefs money. Plus, I think the Chiefs are going to be in more of the parlays and moneyline parlays and such. So I think they're going to be rooting for the Cowboys. But here at BetMGM Nevada, talking about this with Scott Shelton, again, a Mandalay Bay Sportsbook BetMGM Nevada book. He said a lot of tickets on both sides, and it's dead even on tickets. Money also really close, a few more dollars on the Chiefs. Right now, not a really big decision, but he said a lot of Cowboys money line play as well. So what they'd like is to thread the needle, the best case scenario, where the Chiefs win and a Cowboys cover, but with only 2.5-point window in there. He said that's a lot to ask.
Wow, it's very interesting how things might play out in this one. Patrick, let's head to our next matchup. We've got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle trying to bounce back from a shutout loss. It was the first time they've been shut out since 2011, 3-0 start the season. Patrick, what are you hearing on the Arizona Cardinals versus Seattle Seahawks matchup?
Well, it's a big flip because Kyler Murray is expected out. So
Right.
This line started at Cardinals 2. I think some places got to 2.5, maybe even 3 on the Cardinals. It's now flipped all the way over to Cardinals 3. Some spots might have 3.5. I hadn't been able to check recently. But at BetMGM, tickets are really close. At BetMGM Nevada anyway. And Scott Shelton said he thinks that's because the public was on the Cardinals early in the week, but it's very much flipped to the Seahawks late in the week. And also at BetMGM Nevada, I know this is going to skew things. This is not going to be the case in every book. But at BetMGM Nevada, there's a $375,000 play on the Seahawks money line plus 115. So this person got in on that money line when Seahawks were still an underdog in this game. And now the money line is something on the order of minus 160. So definitely a value play for the bettor who got down that huge chunk of change on the Seahawks plus money on the money line.
Wow, yes, we are talking about some big money for that bettor. And let's head to the next matchup where there's also some big implications based on the quarterback that won't be playing. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens versus the Chicago Bears. Lamar Jackson was recently announced out of this one. Patrick, he's dealing with some type of mysterious illness that just hasn't been announced yet. But I want to ask you, what are you hearing on the Baltimore Ravens versus Chicago Bears game? Also wide receiver Marquise Brown out. Just lots of injuries, it seems like. Khalil Mack on the other side. So I think many on this one, Patrick, are very interesting.
Yeah, no question. And BetMGM Nevada and also BetMGM Nationwide, they're probably over they don't wish any ill will, so to speak, on Lamar Jackson, but they also don't mind that he's not under center. And that is because from that same wagerer who had the big Seahawks play, $357,500 on the Ravens at 4.5, which at the time the bettor got that number was a pretty good number on the Ravens. The Ravens have been as high as 6.5. All the way down to minus 1.5 Ravens on the news within the past hour that Lamar Jackson is not playing today. So, the book, BetMGM nationally and in Vegas, was very heavy to the Ravens. And right now, the Bears were the outcome they needed all along, and now it looks like there's at least a better chance of that happening for the books. Not that we're rooting for the books. We'd love to see the bettors get it done. Jason Scott, BetMGM National, said the Ravens are horrible for us. Lamar being out would suit us, so he's probably not displeased at all that Lamar is not going to be under center today.
Yeah, look, Lamar has been called Houdini and many other things, Action Jackson, because of just what he can do. You just never know what to expect. But now you've got Tyler Huntley in that quarterback seat for Baltimore. So I think it definitely does change things in the way people feel about that game. And Patrick, let's head to our last game, New Orleans Saints taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara was ruled out, but Eagles running back Miles Sanders was activated off of IR. Saints, number one run defense. Where is the money on the New Orleans Saints versus Philadelphia Eagles game?
Well, I think it depends on the book, Kelsey. From what I noticed on this over the last couple of days, it seemed like most of them were a little heavy to the Eagles, and that line went toward the Eagles. Some books started as low as pick. Others were like 1.5 Eagles, up to -3. But here at BetMGM Nevada, Jeff Stoneback told me this morning, he said, we need the Saints for a very small amount. Tickets 3-2 Saints, but money 3-2 Eagles. And he said, as we speak, somebody could walk up to the counter, even here behind me at Mandalay Bay, and make a decent, a decent sized bet of, even say $10,000, $5,000 perhaps, and it could flip them to needing the other side. It's just really close action on this game. Not much of a decision either way, at least at BetMGM Nevada. But I am aware of other books that are definitely going to be needing the dog here in this game, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, again, just another great matchup that we're looking forward to. And it just seems like injuries just continue to play a heavy role in so many of these games. Patrick, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us. We can't wait to have you back next week. And to everyone out there listening, coming up next, we will feature our Go for Two picks and this week's bold bets. So stay tuned to the Draft Network because more of the Money Down is next. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Money Down, where we will now turn our attention to the leaderboard after 10 weeks of football action. All right, Brentley, are you ready to see how we did last week?
Yeah, I already know how I did, but let's see it.
Yeah, there we are, Brentley, I'm sorry. College football hurts you and now this hurts you, but you still have a big heart in it, Brentley. So continue to follow your heart. Tides will change, Brentley. I'm confident in it. I'm positive in it. But, right now, I'm liking it right now. I know Jamie will get back to things soon when he rejoins us. But right now, I'm feeling pretty confident. So you know what? Everybody on social media, I'll go by Queen Kelsey this week. No, I'm kidding, folks. Of course, football, anything can change. All right, are you ready for our Go for Two picks, Brentley?
I'm ready.
All right,
last
give us
week
your
was
first one.
literally can't get worse than last week, so we can only get better.
I wasn't going to say anything, Brentley. I promise.
My first Go for Two is, again, something we've talked about already. It's Tyreek Hill over 87.5 receiving yards. I really do think this is a classic Tyreek Hill blow-up spot against the Cowboys, who, again, they're giving up 740-plus passing plays per this season, which is fifth worst in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is going to hit at least one of them today. I think he has a monster game, bright lights, big game. This is the game Tyreek Hill loves to pop off. Trayvon Diggs, I feel like I'm talking crap about Trayvon Diggs all show, but this is not a good matchup for him. It's just really not. So I think Tyreek Hill has a huge game today, multiple touchdowns, easily over 100 yards. So I'm definitely riding with Tyreek Hill.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I told you Trayvon Diggs is from my neck of the woods, and they're like, Kelsey, what's up with your boy Brentley? Why does he keep getting on our guy? So, watch your mentions this week, Brentley. But for my first Go for Two pick, I'm looking at that San Francisco versus Jacksonville Jaguars game. I actually love the Jaguars in the spot this week. Jacksonville has been playing better as of late. So, look, I give credit where credit is due. They are 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 games. San Francisco, though, is coming off an impressive win over the Rams, which many of us watched and probably were like, what are we watching? But I just don't trust them in this spot. In their last 15 games as a favorite, the Niners are 4-11 against the spread. I would not lay points with San Francisco, so give me Jaguars at +6.5 for my first Go for Two pick for today. All right, Brentley, let's head to our next ones. Give us your second go for two pick for today.
So full disclosure, my second one was going to be the Ravens covering whatever the spread was until we found out Lamar Jackson's out. So a quick pivot.
Yeah.
But now I'm going with Keenan Allen over 74.5 receiving yards. Look, he's averaging 77.5 receiving yards already this season. He's going against a Pittsburgh defense, which is out TJ Watt, no Joe Hayden, no Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think Keenan Allen's going to have a huge game. When I was working for the Chargers back in 2018, we played the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. He went off. Like I think he had dang near 170 yards receiving. So he loves these kind of spots. He's a big-time player like Tyreek Hill, loves the primetime games. So I love Keenan Allen tonight. I think he has a monster game. And honestly, look, Mike Williams has been hurt. He is not the same player he was earlier this season. And that's really hurting this offense. So Keenan Allen has to be the guy this offense runs through, and I think that happens tonight.
I love the inside knowledge you gave us and that flex. When Brentley was working for the Chargers, yes, check his credentials, folks. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to these matchups. And Brentley, for my pick in this game, or for my go for two pick, I should say, that I'm looking at the New Orleans Saints versus Philadelphia Eagles game. I know we talked about it last with Patrick, but for this one, the Eagles have been alternating against the spread wins for the past 5 weeks. Last week, Philadelphia, they went on the road and beat the Broncos outright in a game that closed as a pick'em. All right, this week the Eagles are actually the favorites versus Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles are 0-4 on the money line at home this season. So all that to say, give me the Saints at +2.5 for my pick in this matchup. So it will be fun to watch. Again, we've got Jalen Hurts, we've got the Who Dat fans, very excited for that game. All right, Brentley, it's that time. Let's see how bold you can get this week. I want to hear the bold bet, Brentley, that you're giving us for this week that just might change a lot of your odds, right, Brentley, next week as we look for next week leaderboards if you hit it. So give us your bold bet for this week.
Yeah, I'm going pretty dang bold. I'm going Cam Newton as the first touchdown scorer for the Washington football team Carolina Panther game. Look, as we know, and it's big odds, plus 650. So if I'd hit it, I'm sitting pretty. But as we know, Cam Newton at the goal line is the best, really goal line runner in the history of the NFL. Like that's his bread and butter. He's at home going against his former coach who, Ron Rivera, I like him, Riverboat Ron, but I am not a fan of how he treated Cam, how he was so dismissive of ever trying to sign him and bring him to Washington. I hope Cam takes that personally. I think Cam's going to have a really big game today. And again, if they're in the situation where they're near the goal line, as good as Christian McCaffrey is, they're not handing it off. Cam Newton's going to take it himself. He's going to, quarterback power, get in the end zone. So I look for Cam to have a big game. I think he's going to be the first touchdown scorer today.
Cam Newton is that dude. And I like to talk about, look, it's personal between those two. I think week, every reporter here in Washington, we kept getting tweeted, will Ron sign Cam? Will Ron sign Cam? We kept saying, I don't think so. And lo and behold, it happened. Even though I'm just saying Cam Newton would have looked nice in burgundy and gold, Washington folks. We all know that, but that's another subject for another day. But like you said, when something's personal, you take it to heart and best believe at home, back in front of those fans, it will be fun to watch Cam Newton. Who knows? Maybe Superman is back. For my bold bet, I also have a bold one, Brentley, that I think will make some people go, wow, she really did that. I am going to say Indianapolis Colts will upset the Buffalo Bills. And I'll tell you why, folks. The Colts are just playing better football right now than the Bills. I like them to pull off the offset. And look, if this comes true, actually, we'll get to see it on Hard Knocks. So it's a win-win, I feel like, for everybody around the league. But we said bold bets. Colts make me look good. All right. But looking forward to this one, Brentley. Hopefully we both hit. Hopefully Jamie comes back and we're just both smiles because we've done so well this week on the Money Down Show. And it's week 11. 11 is a lucky number, right, Brentley? 11. You make your wishes and dreams on 11. So hopefully it will be good to us. All right, folks. Thank you so much, Brentley. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of The Money Down. As always, we appreciate you staying with us all show long. We hope to see you next week. Same time, same place on our YouTube channel. Put it in your calendar, 11:45 a.m. Eastern time this coming Sunday, the NFL Money Down Show presented by BetPrep. We will be back. Also on Saturday mornings, check out the college version of the show, the Money Down, before a full slate of college football games on Saturday. And again, Michigan State fans, we will understand if you need some more time after yesterday. Okay, I'm kidding. Hopefully you guys get some joy. You guys deserve it. You guys need it. As always, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We'll see you all next show. And if we don't see you before then, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Bye, everyone. Have a great one.